We're now good.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for spending your lunchtime with us to learn a bit more about Jersey. My name's Carly Charteris, and for those of you I haven't met before, I cover the west of England, Northern Ireland, Wales for Premier Holidays, and I'm joined today by my partner in crime, Karen.
Hi.
Karen covers the East and Scotland and looks after agents on the Channel Islands as well. We've been very lucky, would you say lucky, to get all through the lockdown process, supporting you, our lovely agents. So we're very privileged for that, and hopefully we're coming out of the stresses of the first few months, and we are definitely seeing an upturn in sales. And we're joined today by Reese from Visit Jersey, and he's going to update you on everything there is to know about Jersey as a wonderful destination, and also inspire you, because we have great news that the borders of Jersey are opening this week. So if you want to move on to the next slide. Thanks. So I'm sure many of you already book with us at Premier and probably know this, but for any of you that may be new to us or new to travel, we're a family-run company. We're based in Cambridge. We've actually been in business since 1930. And usually I make the joke that we don't look that old. Currently, with my lockdown hairdo, my grey hair probably says different at the moment. But we're very proud to be a family-run company, and we're the market leaders for Jersey. We even have some of our reservations team based in our base at Jersey Airport as well. So we have real first-hand experience on everything Jersey has to offer and all the accommodations that we offer. For travel in 2020, as I mentioned, the borders are opening this week, and Reese will go into that in more detail with you all shortly. For us at Premier, we're on sale for holidays commencing the 1st of August, just to give you that bit more security to pass on to your clients, to know that their holidays will be possible. And we've had some great offers sell really well for the winter, moving into periods such as Tennerfest in October, which is a really popular time to travel, and of course 2021 holidays. So our 2021 holidays are all on sale now, and we also offer a price promise guarantee, so we won't be beaten on price on a like-for-like holiday. We're also offering a flexible booking promise to help you get in those early sales this month. So any bookings that you make up until the 31st of July will be subject to our flexible booking promise, in which we allow you and your clients to move their holidays up to 11 weeks before the date of travel, should they not wish to travel, and we won't administer any of our usual administration fees for Premier Holidays. There are some occasions where the airlines may introduce a admin fee, which is beyond our control, but from our point of view, where our normal T's and C's would be an admin fee, we're waiving all those, just to give that extra peace of mind and allowing you to secure those early bookings now that all your shops are reopening and customers are looking to book. We've had an update this morning, so hot off of the press, on the local departures that are available. And although there has been news of EasyJet pulling out of certain bases, for example, across the mainland in England, we have been told that some of those flights, although they may not have a base, they'll still operate some flights. So we're hopeful that we can still offer you lots of local departures moving forward into Jersey as well. So now I'm going to hand over to Reese, and he's going to inspire you this lunchtime on everything our favourite island has to offer your clients. Thanks, Reese.
Thank you, Carly. No pressure. My job's to inspire you. Okay, here we go. Well, I'm going to be helped by my friends, the cows behind me. I just want to point out there, Daisy and Mildred and everybody else. But to set the scene and to keep things moving, I'm going to play you a short video to get you in the mood for Jersey.
In Jersey, we're proud to be known as a little island with a big spirit. We also believe that what keeps us apart brings us together through hope, health, and well-being. Because even in the face of uncertainty, we still try to find the positive in everything, for everyone. So let's share the great spirit that lies within us all, and take this time to reflect, contemplate and meditate. And when we all come through this together, we'll all be ready for a breath of fresh air.
So there you go. The Jersey is an island, which is a little island with a big spirit. And that's the messaging that we've been going out with recently during the COVID-19 times. Now, we have got some big news, which we'll go on to the next slide about. But before I get there, why would your clients want to go to Jersey, or why would you want to go to Jersey? Basically, Jersey, if you do not know already, is small on size but big on personality. It's familiar enough to the UK that make everybody comfortable, yet exotic enough to make it a bit different. It's that overseas holiday with the familiarity that people like. And the great thing during this time, during the COVID outbreak, and also in the recovery phase, people are looking for that reassurance and something that is familiar, which is why we've seen staycations become very, very popular. And people now are looking further afield, may not be wanting to go to Spain or to other places further afield. So Jersey is that perfect place for your clients to actually take that booking. Now, Jersey like to do things differently. As familiar they are to the UK, they do have their own quirky things about them, like they have their own language, their own currency, and their own laws. And they've got their own legendary knitted jumpers. It's not why it's called Jersey, though, funny enough, but there's a great story. And there's also an interest in story and a history behind the famous Jersey cows and the Jersey royal potatoes. And so we've run some fun campaigns with them recently, which we'll share afterwards, because it's always good to look about that. Now, we talk about Jersey as the island break, and that's because it's not just a beach break or a city break or a country break. It's all of those things combined, which comes into the one thing called the island break. So it's very unique in that. So no matter where you are in the island, you are no more than 10 minutes from the sea. And it basically, that has an effect on every single part of what you experience in Jersey. So as I mentioned, and as Carly mentioned before, Jersey is opening the borders from tomorrow, 3rd of July. So it means there will be unrestricted travel to and from the UK. So there's no quarantine needed back to the UK after people have been to Jersey. And they are putting plans in place so that people can be tested on arrival and then hopefully get their results within 48 hours, although we're trying to get it down to about 12 hours now. But whilst people are waiting for those results, we're not asking people to self-isolate in the hotel rooms. We're actually asking them to conduct themselves with that social distancing rules that have been implemented throughout the UK. So we will be sending out information about this. As the news only happened 8 o'clock last night when it was decided by the government, we're running around trying to get all the information and all the answers. So we're not going to be publishing anything out until we have those answers for you. But as Carly mentioned before, the bookings and arrivals will start with Premier from the 1st of August. So we have plenty of time to get everything in practice, make sure all those teething points that you'll probably have where people travel within the next month will have. And by the time the 1st of August comes and the Premier bookings start arriving in Jersey, there will be no problems whatsoever. And it will be smooth and a great experience for your clients altogether. So where is Jersey? So for those who do not know where Jersey is, you can see on the map it's incredibly close to France. It's just south of Bournemouth and it sits 137 kilometres south of Britain. And it's only 20 kilometres away from the French coast. So that's influenced a lot of Jersey. Now you'll see how later on how this has shaped the history and made it into the special place it is today. But good facts that you also want to pick up is you don't need a passport to visit Jersey or to get there or to get around Jersey from the UK. And it's within the same time zone. So it's great for family travel. Now zooming in on Jersey itself a bit closer, the entire island is only 9 miles by 5, which means, again, I touched on it before, you're only 10 minutes away from the sea, no matter where you are. It's a great place to discover. If you have a car or if you're using public transport, it's great to get around. Now, St Helier is the capital, and it's located in the south of the island, and it's also where the ferry port is. And it's an ideal place for shopping and culinary experiences that you can find there. And quite recently, there's new things popping up, like street food, and it's becoming quite quirky and cool over in Jersey, which we'll touch upon in a moment. Now, the airport's located in the west of the island, and it's only 20 minutes of St Helier by public transport. And on the north coast, you can see on the map, it's split up with different areas. You can see the beaches, for example, in the south. But in the north coast, we've got winding cliff paths and dramatic views, which are perfect for walking in all seasons. Now, that north coast has a fascinating history with folklore, and it's great fishing culture as well. So you can walk along the coast and you can discover some really beautiful hidden gems, sandy coves and pebble beaches and secret harbours and coastal cafes along the way. So it is an island of discovery. So if you go northwest, you've got Grave de Lac, and you've got the sheltered sands and rock pools, which again, great for families to discover. And also you've got Plymont as well, near to Caves de Lac, which is basically a fantastic, pristine, sandy cove, which is reachable by a big, long flight of steps. But that, at low tide, opens up to this beautiful cave formation where we got some fantastic photographs from. So it really is this little discovery of the coastline that you probably can't get in many other places. Now, the east coast of Jersey is where the hills meet the coast. It's dotted with bays and fishing villages, and you'll see all of the Jersey Royal potatoes on the hillside there. It's actually here that you probably saw the Aldi adverts. I believe it's Aldi or Lidl, one of the two, that did the Jersey Royal potatoes, and it had that shot of Gorey Castle there, and it was, it was beautiful. And that's the sort of shots that you get over on the east coast with the fishing villages. So Mountalguy Castle, I mentioned just now, but it sits above the beautiful fishing village of Gorey, and that's also the centre of Jersey's food heritage, and you can really find some great dining spots right in the centre of Gorey. Now on the west coast, moving across there, you'll discover St Juan's Bay. Now that's a 5-mile stretch of one of Jersey's most iconic beaches, and it also forms part of Jersey's National Park. Now it's warmed by the Gulf and it's powered by the Atlantic swell. So it has some of the best waves in the UK, and it's a surfer's paradise really. So dotted along St Juan's Bay, you've also got places like surf clubs and some beautiful dining and options. So it's perfect for people going for walks, blowing the cobwebs out with the air and the sea blowing against them, or sitting back inside and just drinking a glass of wine or hot chocolate and watching the world go by. Now, for those who enjoy to take it easy and have a little stroll, you can also go amongst the tumbling dunes that are located on the west coast. And then Jersey National Trust Wetland Centre is also worth visiting. And you can the bird life that you have there, and as well as other natural history and wildlife. Now, in the southern part, you've got the sloping beaches and silky smooth sands, which is great for family fun and safe swimming spots as well for the families. And you can, if you're not, for a family, if you're a couple or if you want to just explore the island, they are perfect walking spots. And you can walk across the different promenades like you have from St Oben's Bay you have in front of you. You can walk from St Oben's Bay across to St Helier. It's a 3-mile walk from one bay to the other along the promenade, and it's beautiful. And you can do that either on the beach or on the promenade itself. This destination really does scream out for people to get out and into the open air and take a big, deep breath and enjoy. So how to get there? This is changing by the moment, but as Carly did mention, EasyJet do fly to Jersey, and they are looking to fly from multiple places around the UK, and we're getting the information regularly from them. In addition to them, we also have British Airways, and there's also Condor ferries for those who want to do social distancing a bit more. So the ferry takes 4.5 hours. I thought it said 30 minutes on my notes. 4.5 hours or 8 hours, depending if you wanted to go on the slow or the fast ferry. So people can take their own vehicles over if they prefer, but it is easy to rent a car whilst you're in Jersey as well. Again, no passport needed at all for going on the ferry. Now, if you are driving in Jersey, you drive on the left-hand side, and the speed limit is set to 40 miles an hour, which when you see the roads in Jersey, you'll realise it's not actually slow. It's just the way the beautiful roads wind around the scenic landscapes that are there. The good thing about Jersey is you can get lost in a car, but you are quite happy to get lost in a car because you're on an island and you're not going to get lost too far, but you'll find some beautiful discoveries along the way. Now, those who aren't driving, there are lots of other transport options. You've got the local taxi ranks. We've also got the public bus system, which is a brilliant system. And they even have a bus that is outside the airport when you arrive. And that bus is number 15 bus. It goes every 15 minutes and it costs a couple of pounds. And that can take you straight into the centre of St. Helier. But it's a great way to see the island as you're going along. Now, for accommodation, we have I could spend 6 hours on here, but I don't think you'd be interested in me talking about accommodation. So we have a great variety of different accommodation to suit the different clients that you have. So the pictures you see here are some of our unique heritage lets. So these properties are quite unique. The top left, you have the old converted radio tower from the Second World War where people can stay. And this view that you see is from the restaurant at the top, and it overlooks Corbière Lighthouse. Now, this is not only great for the summertime, but also winter, because when you sit in this restaurant with your friends at the top of this rental accommodation, you can look out and see the storms coming across the Atlantic, and it is a brilliant place to be inside with your nice hot drinks and food and friends as you're watching this great storm happen outside of you. Now, stormy weather doesn't happen all the time. We do have great sunsets in Jersey, and they're located, and the properties to see them by are usually based on the west coast. One of those properties, Les Ormes. So Les Ormes is a family favourite. It's self-catering accommodation, and at the moment they are getting quite popular because people would like to self-isolate a bit more, and they want to make sure that they've got more control. So the self-catering apartments do seem to be a lot more popular. Les Ormes has got some great facilities on site, including a 9-hole golf course and some activity centre for children as well. Now, if you are looking for other family hotels, then you've got favourites like the Merton Hotel, which is located in the centre of St. Helier, and they're great hotels with great entertainment, and they've got a fantastic swimming pool with slides and everything else there, and even got a wave machine there so you can learn surfing. So that's always a big favourite. And the Mayfair Hotel always tends to draw the crowds from the UK. Now, if your clients are looking for something outside of St. Helier, we've also got the Horizon Hotel, which is opposite the St. Brelade's Bay. And this beach in St. Brelade's Bay came within the top 3 beaches in the British Isles, are voted by TripAdvisor. So this beach is beautiful. You've also got other higher quality hotels, or the 4 or 5 star mark, which you've got the Pomme d'Or, located in central St. Helier, which is famous because that's during the Second World War, when Jersey was occupied by the Germans. The Germans loved that hotel so much, they turned it into their headquarters. So that's how much they had the pick of the island, and they chose the Pomme d'Or. So another favourite is the Longville Manor, which is a quaint, quirky, small luxury accommodation where you have, it's almost like a cottage style-esque, and they've got high quality dining, food and gardens, and it really is a fantastic one. All of these can be booked with your Premier team, and there's so much more I could talk, but I'll keep you going for that one. So things to do in Jersey, what is there to do? So there's stuff to do for all ages. For example, you've got Durrell Wildlife Conservation Trust, or the Jersey Zoo, as well it's known as now. So those who recognise the name Durrell might recognise it from the ITV TV show The Durrells. For this was actually because of Gerald Durrell, who featured in that TV programme. He stayed in Jersey and he decided to build his zoo from there. Now, this zoo is not just any old zoo. It's an animal conservation centre, and they manage breeding programmes for release back into the wild. They're teaching other conservationists around the world on the best practice, and they are basically the world leaders in what they do. So you can go and visit the Jersey Zoo and just be a visitor, or you can actually do some more unique things like become a zookeeper for a day, or some other fun activities whilst you're there. Now, there are fun things like shopping. So I touched upon shopping earlier with St Helier, but you've got VAT shopping in Jersey in most of the high street stores for most items, not everything, but most of the top brands, designer goods and department stores. And don't forget the items such as Jersey Pearl, which is very famous now, and you can go shop till you drop, or at least until you want to take a break in one of the many restaurants and bars along the way in Jersey. Now, there's other places like the Vineyard and Chocolate Makers in the top left called Lamar. They are famous for making their wines, but they also make spirits like brandies and gins. But if you're not into alcohol, they also make delicious chocolate. Now, if you go around Easter time, you'll see Jersey is filled in the shops with these Easter eggs that they make, which are huge, and they are the size of the orangutan that you can see in the bottom left-hand picture there. You can actually go and see them making the chocolate and have tours at Lamar. It really is worth the day when you go there. Other fun activities that can be done in Jersey include, so you've got the Jersey Jump, you've got Valley Adventures, which are great for kids, but then the opportunity to go out and about and discover Jersey. For example, the top left, you'll see the family walking around in the woods there. There's plenty of fun walks all over the island. And in Jersey, there's a thing called green lanes. So these are a number of different roads scattered around Jersey which give priority to walkers and cyclists. So the cars can only drive 15 miles an hour at the most, and if they see a pedestrian or a cyclist, they have to give way to that person. Then the island's scattered with them in the middle part of the island, so it's great for families to go walking and to explore the countryside without any worries about traffic along the way. I love that part. So, what else is there to do in Jersey? It's perfect for the adventurer. So even if for a short break you wanted to go there and be active and go exploring, there are rib boats like the one in the bottom right hand side you see here. Now these rib boat trips can take you around the island. There's many different tours that they do, but one of the most popular ones is the trip to Les Écureuils and the Minkies. These are a group of small islands and rocks situated about 6 miles away from Jersey. And people can go and have a barbecue or a picnic lunch on these deserted islands and then brought back. But another trip that seems to do very well and is very popular is you can actually get one of these rib boats across to Jersey at sunset, across to France at sunset. It takes about an hour to do that. Have dinner in France in one of the coastal restaurants, and then have been brought back afterwards. And it's one of those James Bond moments that you really can't get anywhere else, where you're being driven to your restaurant by this boat. And 9 times out of 10, you have dolphins swimming alongside you, because there's lots of sea life that you get to see whilst you go on the boat. So you've got the seals, you've got dolphins, you've got plenty of the bird life and seas all around you. Now, as well as the rib boats, you've also got surfing, kayaking, cycling, walking, lots of active elements which were welcome in Jersey. And with water sports, you can actually enjoy things like supping, which is stand-up paddle boarding. There's kayaking, jet skiing, and if you're brave enough, you can go coasteering as well, which explores the submerged landscape of Jersey by caving and tunneling and climbing and swimming, dancing and jumping off cliffs and everything else. So it's quite scary, to be honest. I've done it once before. Now, did you know that surfing plays a massive part in Jersey? It's a massive, where it's got one of the first surf schools in Europe was opened in Jersey, and that was in 1914. And that's because, as I mentioned before, the Gulf Stream warms the ocean, and then it's powered by the Atlantic swell, which is just perfect for surfers. So Jersey is so welcoming, unlike certain other destinations I'm not going to mention, Cornwall. The surfers in Jersey are very welcoming to novices and experienced, and both locals and the visitors to the island. So instead of people, like you might hear stories of surfers getting defensive of their waves and everything else, not here. Here, everybody's welcome. So whether you're a point break or a newbie, you can zip on a wetsuit, grab a board and paddle out all year round. There are surf shops dotted all over the west coast of the island, which can rent you the gear that you need to get out on the ocean. Now, if water sports aren't for you, then cycling is a great one, as I mentioned, with the green lanes. But the steep climbs and exhilarating drops work their way through the wooded valleys, add to the experience that you have through Jersey. There's lots of places where you can hire bikes as well, but the scenery around when you're discovering Jersey by bike can't be beaten, really. And then, of course, you don't need anything at all. You can just use your feet. Hiking is perfect, so you can explore the island on foot. So there's plenty of trails that you can follow, and we've got plenty of them on our jersey.com website, which you can look at. But you can really, find some great places just from walking. And the great thing is there's lots of beautiful little pubs and restaurants and bars and cafes dotted everywhere. And even the pop-up little food shacks and food trucks that I was talking about earlier, they are popping up everywhere now. So you'll be able to refresh yourselves as you're walking around there. So Jersey's a little island with big beauty. So there's lots of places you can explore, including the Jersey Lavender Farm. Here you can walk around the beautiful gardens. The kids that go there can enjoy the Discovery Trail and feed chickens and listen to the talks in distillery and learn about the process of lavender harvesting and such. But we've also got Samara's Manor, situated just outside St Helier, which is a beautiful botanical gardens, privately owned. And it was created over 100 years ago, and it creates a diverse and deeply peaceful environment. And apparently it's the herb garden and the Japanese garden which draws all the crowds each year. We've also got the Eric Young Orchid Foundation, and that's great all year round because everyone loves orchids. And we've got Jersey Wetland Centre, as I mentioned at the start, which overlooks St One's Pond, and it's part of the National Trust for Jersey, and it's great for bird watchers or anyone into their smaller wildlife. Now, as you'll get an impression now, with the great outdoors features heavily, and there's no better place to walk and reconnect with your loved ones and reconnect with nature at its best. So it is truly worth experiencing Jersey just for that, to get away from it all. Now, I have to mention the food. Jersey has a big four, not like Africa where they have a big five. Our big four are to do with food. So our big four are the Jersey Royal potatoes, the Jersey oysters, the Jersey lobsters, and of course, the Jersey dairy, the Jersey cows. They're famous the world over. And for example, the Jersey Royal potatoes are so delicious because of the sea air, the way that the seaweed from the land is used as a fertilizer during the process. It gets the first sun. There's a whole process and a history there. But the Jersey Royal potato was discovered by a fluke. And like I said, there's a whole story there, which we'll send afterwards because it's interesting to watch. The oysters and lobsters. One fact I love about Jersey is the island during low tide doubles in size, because the tidal difference, it has one of the biggest tidal differences of any island in the world. And there's about a 12-meter difference from low tide to high tide, which is huge. So when the island is at low tide and the sea is gone back, it exposes all the land there. So that is perfect to have oyster farms on the seabed. Now, oysters are best enjoyed fresh from the sea. So we do these foraging trips and these trips to go out to the oyster beds. Well, they'll take all the accompaniments like you see in the picture there. You'll have all the dips and all the wedges, and they will shuck your oysters right there in the oyster beds and have that unique experience. Also, the lobsters and the crab that you see, we have plenty of restaurants, including Crab Shack and lots of other places. Every time you'll see fish on the menu or seafood on the menu in Jersey, you know it's just come out that afternoon from the ocean. You cannot get it fresher. Those same oysters, just to say, you can go to Jersey, the St. Helier market, and you can buy 3 shucked oysters with the accompaniments for 50p. This is, you know, so it's not expensive food over in Jersey. I mean, it's great. Now, those same oysters, there's 6 oysters I was buying from Roast Restaurant in Borough Market in London, and I was paying £14 for that. So it shows the distance that is involved. So eat it fresh, eat it on location. And of course, my favorite, the Jersey cows. They're the most friendliest breed of cows. There's plenty of them in the fields as you're cycling by and experiencing. They'll come up to you and they love nothing better than giving you a kiss or lick or anything else. But they do offer some fantastic milk, which is created into the Jersey fudge, into the Jersey ice cream, and everything around it. So Jersey's all about its food and given back to from the land, and it's fantastic. So where can you enjoy all of this food and drink? Well, there's lots of places you can enjoy it, but one of the top tips I would say is to go around to, if you're going to the West Coast, go to the northern part of the West Coast and you'll find a place called Faulkner Fisheries. Now, this is where the fishing boats dock and they have their catch of the day. And there's actually a grill that's put on the side here. And Faulkner Fisheries quite literally take the catch and then they grill it for you and then cook it. So you can eat the fresh food straight away. So there's nothing better than having some beautiful fish or grilled prawns or something like this right on the side as it's just come off the boat. The Hungry Man in the top left here has been around for a while. It's established in 1947. It's nestled in the harbour of Rosal Bay, and it offers a wide range of food and gourmet burgers and crab sandwiches, and it seems to be a favourite, and it's one of those places that people go back to year after year. We've also got some foraging tours that people can explore. We've got plenty of beautiful restaurants within pubs in the different parishes that you can enjoy, like the picture in the bottom right hand side. So if the weather's turning in the autumn or winter, it's still a great place to go. If you're a foodie, you have to go there during the autumn and winter time because you get to really explore Jersey from the culinary side. We also have food tours that people can enjoy, and for those who don't want to just eat but want to drink as well, we've also got a new gin tour, gin trail called Just the Tonic, where they'll take you to different speakeasy style retreats within the gin trail. So that might entice some of you. So some unique Jersey, some of the history now. There is a lot of history in Jersey. I'm not going to cover it all because we're going to be running out of time soon, but we have everything from Ice Age visitors up to more local visitors coming across. So we've got 3 castles in Jersey. The 2 of them you can see here. One, Elizabeth Castle, that's right opposite St. Helier, but you can approach by the amphibian boat or vehicle. You can go reach it from low tide by foot, but then during high tide, you have to get a boat back from there. You've also got Gorey Castle here, which we mentioned before, which is Normandy Castle overlooking France, making sure that they do stay away. We've also got the history, we've got from Neolithic times, we've got the 10th oldest building in the world in Jersey. So lots of cool things like that. We've got lots of museums. We've got the Museum of Art. We've got Corbière Lighthouse, which is open to the public to discover. So there's lots of unique places that you can visit whilst you're in Jersey. With the history, we can't talk about Jersey without talking about the Second World War. Jersey was the only, well, the Channel Islands were the only parts of the British Isles which were occupied by the Germans in the Second World War. Now, or sorry, the Nazis, I should say. Then Nazi Germany occupied Jersey for all those years. Now, that had an effect on the makeup on the island. So you'll see German fortifications throughout the whole island when you're there. A lot of these fortifications have now been converted into different attractions or different accommodations or food. Like the bottom right here, that's the radio tower I mentioned, where you can look at the great storms across the Atlantic Ocean. We've also got the Jersey War Tunnels, bottom left-hand side here. This is a hospital that was built by tunnels by slaves or by prisoners into the land, into the mountain. Now this, the Nazis were expecting to be attacked by the British forces, invaded, but they weren't. So this hospital was never used. They've now converted this into a fantastic museum, which takes you on the journey, not only with the artifacts from the day and the history of what happened, but it also takes you on that heart and minds, that, you know, it really gets into your skin, because it makes you think. It's very difficult to explain, but imagine being occupied for 5 years by people who had never seen a fight or a battle. You've got these young Nazi soldiers coming over for the first time. They haven't killed anyone, haven't been in battle before, and they've grown up and they're just doing what they're doing for the country. And then for 5 years, you're side by side with them, and they're not horrible to you. And it's just, when are you a collaborator and when are you not? And it takes you on that thought process throughout the whole thing, and it really does make you think differently. But each year, Jersey does celebrate the Liberation Day, which took place in June. And so they have a big parade, as you'll see in the pictures here. But there's lots of opportunities if you really want to learn about the history of the war. They've got the Occupation Tapestry there. They have History Alive, which is a range of tours about life in Jersey during the Second World War. There's bunkers at night. We can access 20 or 30 different bunkers, which have almost effectively stayed the same since the Second World War. And you can also go on vintage bus rides and such. So there's plenty to learn for those history buffs. Other events you can explore. We've got the Battle of the Flowers, which is very popular each year. We have the Jersey Marathon, which is quite unique because it's a marathon relay. And then you also got the Jersey Boat Show. But as Carly mentioned before, we do have Tennerfest. Now, Tennerfest is a very popular time because it's when the food restaurants do offer reduced prices during the 6 weeks in October. So people get to enjoy fine dining menus from as little as £10, basically. And finally, just to, for me, it's just some bucket list experiences, some unique, quirky things. You've got the foraging tours in the bottom left, as I mentioned, to learn about the land. We've got lots of people who are interested in that. Iconic sunsets, because the microclimate and the way the island's formed, we do have fantastic sunsets and sunrises throughout the island of Jersey. You've got the wildlife both on sea and on land, and of course the bioluminescence walk. Now, as the tides are out, it does leave exposed all the seabeds, and at night time when you look at the seabed, it looks like a moonscape. So you can actually go for walks along the moonscape with a guide, and they can tell you all about the history and the island and everything else. But on certain times, when you have the time right, when it's not a full moon, but it's clear night, that you can push back the sand and see the bioluminescence worms that are in the sand. And as you see on the picture there, it's almost a recreation of what's on the sky is what's in the ground. It is truly special. You can even do crazy things like abseiling down castles as well, and go foraging through the tidal beds. But there's so many things to explore. So just to finish off with I'm just going to finish with a short video which will show you about the little island, the Big Spirit.
Come surf for the Europe's best breaks. Feel liberated like relics of the past. Find your flow in a World War II bunker. Explore our world in a time machine. Discover over 350 miles of country roads. Walk on water in a hidden world. Be amazed by 600 years of storytelling.
Thanks, Reese. That was really, really interesting. Each time I join a webinar about Jersey or a presentation, I always learn something new. So thanks for that. I thought I knew the lot, but clearly not. Once again, thanks guys for joining. We really appreciate it. Just up on the screen here, we've got some amazing offers for this year and for next. These are just a pick of what's available for this year, featuring Longville Manor, which we spoke about. It's absolutely beautiful hotel. It's got nothing to do with the cheese trolley that has got 40 different cheeses on it. Nothing to do with that at all, but one of my favourites. The Radisson in St Helier, and also the Merton. But there's many other offers on our website. The web address will come up on the last slide. You can download the offers to put in your windows. Unfortunately, due to resources, we can't provide you with window posters at the moment, but if any of you are interested in window posters, just drop me an email, or Carly, and hopefully we will be back in the office for the odd day within the next few weeks so we can get those out to you. But they're all viewable on the website. Yeah, next slide. I feel like Boris Johnson. I've been dying to say that. Okay, as Carly said and as Reese said, Premier Holidays will be up and running for travel from the 1st of August. Very exciting. I've actually booked my flights to Jersey for September, so very excited about that. Media coverage I've got written on here. So James Martin, the chef, like a bit of James, he will be doing a programme from Jersey on this Sunday. I think it's about 9:30 in the morning. So tune into that. That'll be well worth a watch. And as well as obviously his cooking, he'll be doing a big show out of the island as well. Carly mentioned our flexible booking promise, so please keep that in mind as well for peace of mind and flexibility as well. Next slide. Okay, so just a few contact details for you. So premierholidays.co.uk, that is our website. Up in the top right hand, there is a trade login button. Well, the offers are on the main screen, but there is a trade login button. If you haven't got your password, just drop me an email at the end and I will provide you with the password. If you're wanting to make a booking, you can obviously call through or email shorthall@premierholidays.co.uk. There's Carly's and mine email addresses on there for you as well. Also, our social media pages, we've got Premier Holidays on Facebook, so that's trade. That will have all our updates, all our offers, the slide regarding the COVID entries, that will be on there as well. That will be shared on social media, so you can have a copy of that. Twitter, Carly is very, very live on Twitter with all the updates as well, so that's at PHTrade1. And I've literally just set up an Instagram page, so please follow me on Instagram. So that's Premier Holidays Fan. Yay! I think I've got 52 followers now. It's very exciting. So yeah, keep up to date with us. You know, follow us, see what we're up to. We'll be sending out lots of Jersey offers over the coming week, I'm sure. As Reece said at the beginning of the presentation, this is being recorded and we can send it out to you so you can share that with any colleagues that haven't been able to join us today. So a massive thank you from Carly and myself for your support. Yeah, we really, really getting emotional again, Carly. We really appreciate it. We have worked all the way through. We had a bumpy ride at the beginning. We call ourselves left brain and right brain because some days the whole brain didn't work together. Yeah, so thank you for your support. We really, really appreciate it. And yeah, if there's anything you can do, anything we can do for you, get in contact.